We all know about cancer and common cancers. So, endometrial cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Yeah.
These five cancers, people who drink coffee have a lower cancer mortality from these. So, five cancers: cirrhosis of the liver, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's dementia, the early stage of Alzheimer's called cognitive decline,
Okay.
low risk in coffee drinkers, low risk of type 2 diabetes. Here, both decaf and regular coffee work. And if you drink 4 to 6 cups, there's a 40 to 54% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. And if one already has type 2 diabetes and they drink 2 cups, regular or decaf, there's a 30% reduction in cardiovascular mortality.
Beyond wine, we really care about health. The health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions. Your natural wines are found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. I'm your co-host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, along with co-host, Dr. Chris Demczar.
Yeah, so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here today.
In this new space.
We've got a new studio. We've got a new clinic. We've got new health. We have the avenue of you becoming your own doctor and healing yourself when you learn the functional causes and really, truly, how you can engage in, I'll call it sort of self-healing repair. You know, our job is to educate, teach, and inspire you to becoming your own doctor, learning about yourself, learning the things you can do at home so that you can really take the ownership of your health. And I think today's topic is a continuation of the tiredness, the fatigue, the energy. But we're going to be talking about some of the common things that most people don't associate with being related to why they're so tired, and the things that are sometimes labeled as a diagnosis that you might think, that doesn't have anything to do with my fatigue. But if you actually fix the underlying root cause of these conditions, your energy is going to start shooting up sky high.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
this whole self-healing business, it really comes down to understanding that you need to have a growth mindset with it all. So we're obviously growing into this new office.
Yeah.
But if you're listening and going, yeah, I've had this fatigue for years, and Dr. Ernst, I've been listening to you for years, and I feel like I've got it down. Well, have you grown through things to take action steps? Have you grown to take action steps? Have you grown with what your mind thinks and now understands so you can better your health?
Yeah, and don't forget, I mean, last week we had over almost 30 people text in, which is quite a bit.
That is.
In regards to our energy workshop, our ebook. So guys, if you'd like to grab a copy right now, I know the show's only just starting, but Energy Heal Thyself is a series we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. We have an ebook that coincides. Think of it as a workbook, everything you need to know on how to boost your energy, drastically improve your mood, your affect. And we're not just talking about like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. We're talking about cellular energy, repair energy, regenerative energy.
Right. The energy you can't necessarily feel all the time.
Yes, and this is the energy that brings about healing. So if you've got a condition, maybe it's weight loss resistance or thyroid or adrenal fatigue or kidney dysfunction, etc., leaky gut, autoimmunity, etc. Most of the time what's happening is your energy stores, the ability for you to produce your energy is low, and that's why your body's not healing by itself.
Exactly.
So how do we grab the ebook? Text your name and your email along with the word energy to 704-906-2094. Not only do you get the ebook, but you get access to our masterclass, Energy Heal Thyself. It's a live event. It's on Saturday. I believe it's the 13th of May.
Correct.
We're looking at maybe a week or two away from today. And it's 10 a.m. in the morning. It's live. We'll come at you and we're going to teach you how do you identify the cause of your energy drain. Is it an organic issue like we're going to talk about today? How do you solve that problem so that the side effect is endless energy, great sleep, weight loss, all the things that we look for? You can grab that access to the event and the ebook right now by texting the word energy with your name and your email to 704-906-2094. So Dr. Chris, I think most people would probably say if they're tired, the first thing they're going to do to try to recover their energy is just sleep more.
Yeah.
And while sleep is certainly important for us to regenerate our energy, what I want to talk about today are sort of the key players of things that you might not associate with energy drain. Like these are diagnostic conditions or things that you might say, there's no way that has anything to do with my energy. And these 11 things, if we got a tall order today to get through all 11
all of them, yep,
are sort of overlooked causes of why your energy is dropping. So let's go straight to the first one because this is huge. So many people deal with this. It's estimated that over 20 million Americans have some level of a thyroid dysfunction. And there's even, 60% of people generally don't even know they have a thyroid problem when they do because the testing is so inadequate.
Exactly.
And your thyroid is basically like your energy metabolism. I mean, the hormone itself is responsible for the production of energy. It helps you to burn fat. It's responsible for regeneration and repair. So when your thyroid's not working, we see fatigue and moodiness, tiredness, muscle pain, weight gain. It can even lead to brain fog, forgetfulness, changes in appetite. And again, most people would probably say, well, my doctor said I'm fine. My labs are normal, so it's not my thyroid, but it could actually be your thyroid.
Or even worse, you're being told it is your thyroid, and now you've been medicating your thyroid for years. Your labs do look really good, and you're being told by your medical provider that everything's fine and normal, even though it's not, because you're still tired, you're still fatigued, you still can't get enough sleep at night, and you have no idea why.
Yeah, so word of caution to all of you who have said, nope, my doctor says my thyroid's fine, TSH is good, T4 is good. That's like scratching the surface of an iceberg and saying, okay, all I see is the top, right? So your thyroid is massively responsible for energy production, weight loss, I'll call it regeneration, immunity. But it's not just the thyroid that's involved in this. There's liver functionality, there's gastric functionality, so leaky gut, toxic heavy metals, all of this comes into play with the thyroid. And so you need to make sure it gets tested properly.
And, we've done thyroid-specific radio shows before on Saturdays, Dr. Ernst. And one of the big things that we talk about all the time is over 90% of people that have what's called low thyroid function is because of some sort of autoimmune, maybe immune system is attacking the thyroid. So it's an immune system cause.
Yeah.
So then you can't just medicate to make the blood levels look good when you have an immune system cause. But that's not being properly addressed at all.
And especially with thyroid patients, okay? Most of them say, I've been taking my medication for 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
My
so
labs
many
look
years.
good, but I'm still tired. I'm still fatigued. So again, part of the challenge is you have to remember naturally going after your thyroid is not taking a medication. We have to look at dietary response. We have to look at your iodine and your selenium levels. We have to look at heavy metals and toxins and potentially detoxing them. So I think one of the greatest things you can ever do is get tested properly for your thyroid, looking for the antibodies, looking for the conversions. And at the minimum, you're going to have to go grainless because we know gluten spikes and causes the issues with the autoimmune antibody production. We need to check your iodine and your selenium levels to make sure you're getting the nutrients you need to make the hormones. And then again, if you have fillings or if you've got heavy metals, if you're using a deodorant that's aluminum based, all of this comes into play with the thyroid. And again, what I want you to know is if you're tired all the time and you're sleeping well and you're eating well, but you're still not recovering, it could be your thyroid.
Right.
And we're going to go more in detail on testing that at the masterclass, which again is coming up on the 13th of May. You can download an Energy Heal Thyself ebook right now for free by texting the word energy with your name and your email to 704-906-2094. In addition to getting the ebook for free, the masterclass is yours. It's a live event.
Yeah,
and we'll
can't
show
miss
you.
it.
Yeah, step by step. How do you get the right kind of testing to find your root cause of energy issues? But best yet, what can you do to engage in the healing process so you become the doctor and you get the glory of the healing response?
Exactly.
Number 2 is one we've spent an actually entire segment on just about a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Adrenal fatigue and chronic fatigue. Listen, I'm going to say that show was so revolutionary that if you're listening right now and you're like, oh gosh, I am tired all the time and I have that 2 p.m. crash in the afternoon and I feel like I'm stressed out. Go to iTunes, head on over to our website, go download our podcast, and you can find the last shows that we've done in regards to adrenal energy. The thing with your adrenal glands, of course, is they respond to stress. So what happens is we tend to find that so many of us are living this massively stressful life. We have work, we have bills, we have spouses, we have kids, and there are simple ways you can control your stress. A lot of them is in the Energy Heal Thyself ebook. But remember, your adrenal glands are sort of responsible for you reacting to life. So there's many times that what happens is we just overtax and we burden the adrenal glands. We burn them out. And there are simple, easy, effective ways that you can use not just diet and supplementation, but actually nourish and heal your adrenal glands and let them bounce back.
Exactly. And a lot, what's funny, you said the word burn out the adrenal gland. That's literally what it's called, adrenal burnout.
Yeah.
And did you know that the adrenal glands produce 50 different levels of hormones? So it's not just, people think it's the cortisol, it's the stress hormone. That's what you're trying to regulate. It's not just limited to that. The body is way smarter and way more complicated than that. So when you do these things, they're going to help to reduce the burnout of the adrenal gland. You're not just reducing the cortisol levels or the cortisol response or putting your cortisol back into balance. You're doing way more than that for your body.
Yeah, and so if you're that kind of person who's like, I'm stressed, I've got my life coming after me, I feel like, I'm not sleeping very well. One of the most important things you can do is try not to go after the caffeine stimulants or the sugar stimulants because that only makes your adrenal glands more burned out. There are adaptogenic herbs. Again, download the show. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Ashwagandha, holy basil, maca root, magnesium, the omega oils in your D3s. These are all key nutrients that can help your adrenal glands to somewhat re-nourish themselves, come back. And again, the side effect is I have more energy. So rather than pounding energy drinks and energy bars and trying to sleep for 9 hours, I can support my adrenal glands and your body's going to naturally produce its own level of healing energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you can do too, and this is where we have to ask, what controls the adrenal glands? Well, your nervous system, of course.
Yeah.
And so when you stimulate your nervous system and make a positive change within your nervous system to change the signals that are bombarding the adrenal glands constantly, that will help to stop the burnout. Right? It's not necessarily about having to heal the adrenal glands as much as what do you have to do first. And we talk with patients about this all the time. You have to stop the damage, stop the degeneration that's occurring wherever it is and whatever it is in your body. In this case, it's with the adrenal glands, it's with the adrenal burnout. So how you do that with the nervous system, it could be something as simple as changing your mindset. This is where if you're struggling to sleep, if you're fatigued all the time, and you know that you've got this adrenal stress, start journaling, start meditating, start doing something that's going to change your mindset. Shift what your nervous system is choosing to do. So even if you're not healing the adrenal glands, you're stopping the damage that's currently occurring in your body.
And let's talk about the power of your nervous system just outright. We know that your brain and spinal cord send signals to all the organs within your body. So if there's a thyroid dysfunction that you know about, have you ever had the nervous system checked in regards to the thyroid nerves? They sit in the middle of the neck.
I love that.
The adrenal nerves. We could technically, all 11 of these,
Yeah.
connect the nervous system to this. So the adrenal glands are, of course, little 2 tiny glands sit on top of your kidneys. So the nerves that come out of the lower part of your thoracics, upper part of your lumbars, if there's nerve involvement or nerve irritation, a subluxation, it blocks a signal from the brain to the tissues. So imagine an adrenal gland is trying to help you react to your stress and keep you energized. But if the signal's missing, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Same thing with the thyroid.
Exactly.
I think number 3 is a big one because we live in a society today where a lot of us are sedentary. We sit in our cars and drive for hours a day. We sit when we get home and watch TV. We lay down when we sleep at night. We sit at our office and we're sitting and sitting and sitting. And this somewhat sedentary lifestyle can be extremely hard on your nervous system. Okay, there was an article not that many years ago that said sitting is the new smoking. And what's interesting is, we would always think, smoking is such a bad habit. It creates all kinds of inflammation, toxicity within the lungs and can lead to lung cancer, etc. But the study actually showed that if you sit for more than, I think it was 6 or 8 hours on a daily basis, the crushing effect of gravity against your spine and your nerve system from your head being forward at the desk and you losing the curves in your back shuts down neurological power and causes organic dysfunction as a result.
Yeah, it's insane to think that we as a society have gotten to the point where people are being sedentary, not when they're sleeping, but actively during the day. When we're awake, we're being sedentary for more than 6 or 8 hours a day. That just seems completely insane to me that we're doing that.
And so how is it that it makes us tired when we sit? Because, you might think like, oh my God, I'm sitting down, I'm resting, etc. But all of this can literally it compresses the nervous system and shuts down the ability for your brain to send signals to all parts of your body. So therefore, when muscles are under strain and ligaments are under strain, it's taking energy away from your natural immunity to try to say, okay, I've got to go repair this. You sat all day at work, all the discs are compressed, the nerves are irritated. So you require a ton of energy to try to rebuild and repair the degeneration that takes place just from one day of sitting.
And what's crazy is, we deal with this all the time as chiropractors, but how many of you are already getting the warning signs that this is happening and you just haven't made that connection?
Yeah.
Are you having the low back pain? Are you having some of that feeling in your shoulders and in your upper chest and upper back, that stress that everyone thinks, oh, I hold my stress there? No, you don't. You're crushing your discs. You're compressing your spine. Your nerves are inflamed, and that's your body's response. And it's trying to say, hey, get out of this position. But that is a pattern that you are now stuck in 6 or 8 or more hours a day. So you've got to break that pattern. When it comes to how do you break the pattern of being sedentary, of not moving enough, it seems quite simple, right? What's the opposite? Be active. So if you can simply add what the American College of Sports Medicine would say, at least a minimum of 30 minutes of moderate exercise every single day, that's defined as a brisk walk even. So just 30 minutes a day can help to negate those negative effects of being so sedentary.
And how about just the fact that, let's all acknowledge the fact, we're sitting in our studio today. So
Of course.
What are we going to do after this? We're going to go get adjusted. We're going to do spinal exercises because we know this. But if you're the kind of person where you're like, well, I don't have access to that and I'm at my office for 8 hours, look, set a timer on your phone. Every hour, get up and do some stretches, wobble around, sit on like a wobble cushion or one of those ball chairs that allows you to keep your spine upright. Use a standing desk because it gives you more of an erect, upright posture. So there's so many ways we can combat the energy drain and the fatigue that comes from the sedentary lifestyle and the others that we've discussed, the thyroid functionality and the adrenal functionality.
Yep. And here's the catch-22. If you're going, but guys, just listen, I'm way too tired to even be able to get up and move. I get what I hear what you guys are saying. I want to do it, but I'm too tired. I feel like I have no energy to even get up and move around in the manner that you guys are asking me to do so. Well, guess what? That is not an energy problem. That is a nervous system mindset problem. Because if you have the energy wasting away in your body, just trying to help repair all the damage that you're doing from being sedentary or from having these other things that we're talking about today, then you have the energy to break that, get up, move around, and guess what? The second you start moving around, what does your body choose to do? Build more energy, make more energy because you need it. Now you're moving.
And you know what I'm thinking too? Another way that you can say, like, if you've got this kind of like, I don't have enough energy to get moving. Yeah. Hey, listen, download the Energy Heal Thyself ebook. We have the foods that boost your energy. We have the supplements that boost your energy. Between the mindset shift and feeding yourself properly, it's going to come back fast. Text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook is yours free. Access to our masterclass, which is coming up in about 2 weeks, on how to solve your root issues. What are the tests that need to be run? How do we identify, is it an underlying root cause? Is there something that's going on in your health that's sucking the life of the energy out of you? And if there is, how you fix that. All of that is completely free for you. Text the word energy plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Okay, the next one is a big one because this is something that affects so many people today. 21 million Americans, right? That's probably, I would say probably more than 50%. Have what would be known as a depressive state. So like they would label themselves as being like, I'm mentally, physically exhausted, tired, depressed. It is one of the largest energy zappers because it plays around with our mindset, like you mentioned.
Right, we
before.
just talked about that. Yep.
When you're depressed, you tend to be low energy and low motivation. And the crazy thing is that it's almost always because of a neurotransmitter issue within your brain, which they're now connecting has so much more to do with our diet than our genetics or deficiencies in serotonin, epinephrine, norepinephrine.
Exactly.
Here's what's unique. Almost the majority, 50 to 90% of neurotransmitters, because, if someone's depressed, their doctor's usually using an SSRI, like Wellbutrin or Xanax or something to try to stimulate the neurotransmitters in their brain. But they found out that the majority of the neurotransmitters are made in your gut, not in your brain. So if you really want to stimulate energy for someone who's depressed, we need to focus on boosting the natural anti-inflammatory sort of hormone-producing foods that help your body to heal itself. This is where we look at things like the omega fatty acids, the really high plant fats, coconut and avocado, chia and flax, and even potentially using some essential oils. Did you know that rose, bergamot, and lavender, Roman chamomile, and ylang ylang have been shown to actually boost mood and affect and help with energy? So you can simply diffuse these essential oils, breathe them in, change your diet, go a little more into, I'll call it like a healing diet, and you'll see your depression start to break and your energy start to come back.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that depression almost has nothing to do with the brain in and of itself, but it has almost everything to do with the gut and then the gut's ability to transmit neurotransmitter signals through the spinal cord and then eventually into the brain.
And then here comes back the nervous system, right? There are studies upon studies showing the enteric nervous system uses the cranial nerves, the vagus nerve specifically, to allow for the communication between gut and brain. So if you understand my analogy, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. If you have an upper cervical subluxation or a vagal nerve compression, your gut might be making all the healthy transmitters, but it's not getting up into the brain because the vagus nerve is blocked.
Exactly.
Or vice versa. If the vagus nerve is blocked, the gut is going, I can't make the neurotransmitters and I can't send them to the brain. And we tend to see depressive states. How many times as a chiropractor have you started to adjust a patient and seen just the lights come on with them?
All the time.
Like a clarity to their eyes, a focus, a memory, an energy that is almost unobtainable in any other way than just through natural chiropractic care.
Right, and there's two reasons for that. The big one is, of course, because we're removing whatever the roadblock was that was blocking the nerve from sending the correct signal. But secondary, and this is the reason why everyone goes, wow, that adjustment, I feel so good. I almost get like an adjustment high, because the adjustment itself allows the release of specific neurotransmitters that are made in the spinal cord. Those neurotransmitters end up to the brain and then allow the release of serotonin, which is that good feeling hormone that we're all always seeking out. And it's no wonder that people go, I love my adjustment. But you don't just love it for that. You love it because it takes away those roadblocks that we always talk about.
Yeah, and if you're somebody who's going like, this is new to me. Like, I can see a chiropractor get adjusted and have my depression lift, have my adrenals boost, have my thyroid start to function again. The answer is yes. We see it all the time. And we even have an entire descriptive section in the Energy Heal Thyself ebook about how your nervous system is directly connected to the ability for you to have energy. So right now is a great time and an opportunity for you to text your name and your email with the word energy to 704-906-2094. That's 704-906-2094. Not only will you get the ebook, which is a workbook guide to boosting your energy, but again, you get access to the masterclass, a live online event that we're hosting on the 13th of May. It's about 2 weeks away. So take the opportunity now, take the action, get your energy back. And when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to go into the next layer of these, I'll call them energy drainers that you may not be paying attention to. Some of it is your sleep. Some of it's the amount of water you drink. Some of it's the foods you eat. Some of it's a hidden source of energy that you guys never even knew you had. So take a moment right now, text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook is yours for free. The masterclass is yours for free. And what a great way to get your energy back.
Yeah, exactly. And what the unique thing will be is you're going to start to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together with this whole energy situation that we're discussing. And you'll start to be able to create a web of understanding where these aren't these self-limiting or these individualized things. These all connect together.
Yeah.
So the thyroid connects to the gut, which connects to the depression, which connects to the sleep, which is going to connect to some of the other things that we're going to talk about at the second half of the show.
Yeah.
And so stay tuned and be ready, guys.
Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Hi, my name is Gary Greenfield with Greenfield Water Solutions, and I want to introduce you to our newest product, the MR500. It's a whole house structured water filter system. It's set up in an all stainless steel multi-round filter housing. It features inlet and outlet for the water, a bleeder valve for when you're changing out the filters to reduce pressure, and to remove the top for access to the filters. You simply open up the clamp, remove the top, and this plate here holds all the filters in place. Simple to remove. It comes out, and you can see what we have on the inside here. It's 5 Aquamedics filters and a vortexing tube and a harmonizer. That's the whole system. This is designed to filter 5 gallons per minute And all of the contaminants that it does remove are listed on the website, which is a very broad array of contaminants. These are the highest rated filters that I know of on the market that are filter cartridges. They can be changed out yearly. And of course, the process is very simple. You won't have to hire a plumber to do a change out. And the filters are available from Greenfield Water Solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can read about it on the product page or give us a call. Thanks for watching. That's it for now from Greenfield Water Solutions.
To bring you the best natural wine the world has to offer, we've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer two main options: a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There is a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you, so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celliant Sleep Recovery. Our Celliant Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celliant technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celliant infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celliant. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celliant has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celliant Sleep Recovery products today. Celliant. Recycle your body's energy.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. It's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. I'm your co-host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, along with Dr. Chris Demczar.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, and we were bringing some heat and some energy to our conversation behind fatigue, tiredness, energy drain. Our topic is the 11 causes of energy drain that you may not associate with the reason why you're so tired all the time, and some natural methods of how you can really turn the tides on fixing your energy.
Yeah, we're moving quick because we have to have the energy so we can get you guys all of this information.
Yes.
Or we will run out of time, but this is important. These are root causes, and that's what we're all about on the show, is discussing the root causes so you can make choices to change your health for the better.
That's right. So we talked about your thyroid, we talked about your adrenal glands, we talked about the fact of like our sedentary lifestyle, the potential depressions and or lack of motivations that we have, all of these with the connections of the nervous system and how they drive all of this is a main key player for why so many of us are tired all the time. You and I had mentioned that one of the number one things we see when we start working with patients is as they start getting their chiropractic adjustments, we see a massive boost in their energy, their focus, their memory, their attention, almost as if some sort of skin has come off of them and they've been rebirthed.
That's right.
It also comes in coincidentally because we aren't just chiropractors here at Cornerstone Health Center and the Ask Dr. Ernst show. We do a combination of functional medicine. So we're diving really deep into hormones and testing panels and looking at adrenal function and mitochondrial function, thyroid function. So I think it's really important to know that it's a combination between cleaning tissues out, cleaning systems out, turning on your nerve energy, and your body will thank you with a boost of energy almost all the time.
Exactly. Yes, it will.
So I want to talk about sleep because, again, most people think like, oh, I just need to sleep more. Okay, well, remember, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. And the biggest thing today is that most of us are being disrupted while we sleep. We're either having a really hard time falling asleep, which is a lot to do with your adrenal functionality. So if you're somebody who's kind of like, I can't sleep, I just can't fall asleep, that's an adrenal chronic fatigue issue. And it's somebody who says, like, I have no problems falling asleep, but I constantly keep waking up at 2 or 3 or 4. And that has to do a lot with a toxicological issue, the functional nature of how your liver and your lungs go through a sort of healing phase when you sleep. And if you're waking up at specific hours of the night, it hints to which organ really needs the effect in the cleaning. Most people are waking up between 2 and 3 and 4, and that's all the liver hour. And so when we see a lot of heavy congestion with toxicity, then we see this kind of disrupted sleep.
Exactly. And guess what? As this builds up over time, this congested organ systems within your body, well, guess what can't function the way it's supposed to? You can't regulate your blood sugar levels, which are doing some really important things while you sleep in the middle of the night. And your blood sugar should follow a very specific rhythm as you sleep. When that doesn't happen, that's when you're waking up at that 2 to 4 time frame because your liver starts to freak out and then your adrenal glands start to freak out again. And now you've got your cortisol levels doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And can you see this cycle of how we can put all these different systems together into one giant dysfunction? And you think of it as, oh, I'm just not sleeping well. It's way worse than that. There's these other underlying root causes that need to be addressed.
And one thing you can do to find out a little bit more about sleep connection is download the Energy Heal Thyself ebook. We have an entire chapter dedicated to how sleep and breathing and apnea that we're going to talk about is connected to your energy. Text the word energy with your name and email right now to 704-906-2094. We're giving away our newest ebook, which is Energy Heal Thyself. And we're also giving access to the masterclass that we're hosting. It's a live event on Saturday, May 13th. It's at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's at your house. It's on your computer. It's easy to get access to. And we're going to show you step by step how do you identify the underlying root cause of your energy fatigue and drain. What are the tests that will show you what's the creation? Where's it coming from? And simple steps that you can engage to repair your body, heal naturally, and get the side effect of the energy boost, the weight loss, and for many of you, a regeneration to where the apnea, the fatigue, the thyroid issues, and even the adrenal issues can start to clear by themselves, and you heal.
Exactly. And so let's start to put some of this web together. I said everything that we talk about today is going to web together in some semblance or form. And we ended the top part of the show talking about depression. Well, guess what? Research out of Emory University shows that sleep deprivation or the lack of good quality sleep can lead to changes in mood that will elicit symptoms or qualitative states like that of depression. So right then and there, bad sleep, you're depressed. If you're depressed, you're not going to sleep as well. And there's one negative feedback cycle that will snowball out of control.
When we're depressed, we have lack of motivation. We don't start exercising. Our diet usually goes off balance. We start to get more mental and emotional stress. That leads to the physical stress. Then we have the subluxation starting to take its toll. And now all of it comes together. And if the subluxations, the alignment issues within the spine that affect the nerve functionality are in the upper part of the neck, that can be gastric functionality. It can be thyroid functionality. So you're right. They all interconnect together. And the most important thing is figuring out which of these is your key player. Which one is the screamer in the room, the elephant that's like, if you were to solve that one thing, there's going to be a trickle effect and everything else will become corrected.
Exactly. Love that.
Now, did you know this, that, and I've even been guilty of this in the past, if we don't sleep at least for 7 hours, okay, you need between 7 to 8 hours. And I used to think like, oh, really? Like I can go 4 or 5, have no problems. But there was a study done at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine where they found that if you were to simply sleep 6 hours a night for 2 weeks, the effect on the drain in your energy, the drain in your focus was almost the equivalent of if you didn't sleep for 2 straight days.
Wow.
So remember, it's not just the quality, but we also have to look at the quantity. We need to make sure we're getting enough restful sleep. And during the night, a lot of times what happens is as we get older and as we age, we start to not breathe properly. So we get an apnea-like condition develop. And what you're going to see, what's really unique is, and you can even speak to this, is that most of us, we breathe through our mouth at night because we haven't trained our body to focus on nasal breathing. And of course, nasal breathing is going to help to prevent sleep apnea. It helps to moisten the air and kind of hydrate what's coming in. And it's so much more important if we can nasal breathe. There were periods of time where I even had to train myself by physically taping my mouth shut with either kinesio tape or skin tape to force myself to learn how to breathe through my nose. And after a couple weeks of doing that, now it's almost to the point where I can't not breathe through my nose.
Exactly.
It's the only way to do it.
Yep. Well, and how many of you have been told by your medical doctor, hey, I know you've been saying that there's this fatigue, energy issue, you haven't been sleeping so well, so we're going to send you to do a sleep study. Now you go and you do the sleep study. Of course, they find something wrong because you've got all these underlying things. But what they're testing for is that overlying, that effect, which is the sleep apnea. So you're diagnosed with sleep apnea and you're told, well, hey, now for the rest of your life, you're going to be put on a CPAP machine, the machine that basically helps you funnel oxygen through your nose so that your body can still function even though you're still doing all the wrong things inside your body. So if you're a mouth breather, you're still a mouth breather, and now you're definitely a mouth breather because you've got these cannulas in your nose that are feeding oxygen.
Some of them are face masks.
And some of them are face masks now too. So there's no way that's going to help to teach you to break the patterns that are causing the problems in the first place. And that's where sleep deprivation can just become a symptom of your life forever if you choose to manage it that way. Or you could say, I know it's because there's something going on with my nervous system. I've literally taught my body to do these dysfunctional things. Those things can be broken, but like Dr. Ernst said, you have to find which subluxation is the root issue in the nervous system. You have to find out which pattern, which behavior is the root system or cause of the dysfunction in your life, and then train to remove it. You can't just think, oh, I'm a mouth breather. All right, I'll start breathing through my nose. You actively have to work to train that out of your system. And if you've been doing it for years, then what should your expectations be for how long will it take for you to, let's use mouth breathing as an example. If you've been mouth breathing for the last 5 to 8 years of your life, how long should it take for you to stop mouth breathing? Do you have any ideas, Dr. Ernst?
On average, it's at least 90 days.
Minimum
of 90 days. And that's 90 days where you have to physically at night tape your mouth shut to make it so that you breathe through your nose. So you reprogram your neurology so that in the 91st day, you could potentially take the tape off. And what you find is you're breathing through your nose. Now, here's something unique. And I know we said we were going to give these little kind of tidbits and teasers. Did you know, and I'm sure you've seen this, 90% of people that come into our clinic that confess, yes, I have sleep apnea, have a very specific subluxation pattern that we see in the upper part of their neck. Okay, so not to get too detailed, but the second bone in your neck, C2, is really neurologically responsible for a lot of the mouth breathing, nasal sinuses, pathways, etc. We tend to find that that bone is usually significantly rotated and flexed forward, meaning pushing against physically the airway, the nasopharynx. And I know it's going to sound strange. You might be listening to our show today being like, what? I mean, I've been going to a chiropractor for years and I still have sleep apnea. There's a very special technique of a corrective style adjustment that has to be done. You can get the C2 bone adjusted, but it's different to have it physically reset into its original alignment position. So we do adjustments for alignment rather than just for cavitation and pain release. And we have seen patients reduce the flow rates. We've even had some completely get off their apnea machines by correcting the upper cervical subluxation that blocks the nerve from the brain to the breathing pathways in the throat.
Yep, exactly. And so it took that was the root thing, right? That was the one thing that had to be figured out with a lot of those patients. But then it also took the training and it took the action steps on the patient's part to really own their health, own that change, train for it, and then now be able to live with these amazing results.
And I know we said it before, but in the Energy Heal Thyself ebook, there's an entire section talking about this condition that we've been describing, subluxation, and how it connects to your energy, to your neurological pathways. If you'd like to learn more about that and how you can clear yourself to become more energetic, text the word energy, your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook is yours for free. It'll be sent electronically, and you get access to the masterclass where we're going to show you if you have these conditions. If you know, for example, I've got an adrenal issue, I have a thyroid problem, I'm not sleeping very well, I'm chronically fatigued, hop on the masterclass. We'll help you identify your root cause, and you'll know exactly what you need to do to solve it and fix it.
Exactly.
Here's another big one, and unfortunately, this is very rampant today. It's a version of a nutritional-based anemia. And what's unique is, again, so many people run out and they'll say like, oh, I'm kind of chronically tired. I need to get my B12 shot. I need to get my B vitamins. Okay, well, anemia related to B vitamins is actually very common today.
Yep.
And what happens is we don't get enough red blood cell production of a molecule called hemoglobin, which is responsible for physically carrying oxygen within your blood. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? If my B vitamins are low, specifically folate and B12, I'm not going to be able to produce very much hemoglobin. Therefore, my red blood cells that are circulating around will be starved for oxygen. And we need oxygen to produce energy. We talked about this last week in your mitochondria. If you don't have the mitochondrial fire burning, you're not going to have energy. And it could be that you simply have an undiagnosed nutritional-based anemia.
Yes, exactly.
And so a couple ways you can really boost this if you think this is you. Blackstrap molasses, extremely high in what's known as elemental iron. Brewer's yeast or nutritional yeast. This is that sort of like cheese substitute for people who are vegan, etc., and they don't want to eat dairy products. Loaded with B vitamins. Make sure you're using citrus-based fruits and vitamin C because it helps with iron absorption, because we need the iron to be bound to the hemoglobin molecule in order to grab the oxygen. And I'm going to say this just in a subtle way. 75 to 80% of people we test end up having nutritional deficiencies in folate, B12, vitamin C, and zinc, which means they have a functional anemia, which is a little tricky here because it means it doesn't show up on your medical test. You're not going to be classically anemic, but you're nutritionally anemic, and it leads to drops in energy.
Exactly. And we can create we can make a full web picture with this by going back to the fact that some of the B vitamins you're talking about, Dr. Ernst, especially B9 and B12, are critical for normal function within your adrenal gland.
Yes.
So if you don't have the B vitamins that your adrenal gland needs, then you're naturally going to start to have an adrenal sufficiency. You're going to have that cortisol burnout. And even what's worse is there are, a select proportion of the population that are already predisposed. And this is where we don't like to say that genetics determine health, but there are specific genetic predispositions where your body cannot use specific B vitamins in a inactive form. So they have to be in this activated or methylated form. And you need to be able to get the correct testing to know that, so then you can give yourself the proper nutrition to make sure that you're using the B vitamins appropriately.
I hate to say it, but a lot of people tell us often, well, I don't understand, like you tested me and I'm severely deficient, but yet I take them. Well, again, you might not be activating them. Methylation is a huge issue today. A lot of people have a subtle mutation in the MTHFR gene. And also the next one, which is a big player, we talk about it every week. If you have a leaky gut or dysbiosis, you're going to be drained with your energy. Why? Well, it's the number one cause of nutritional deficiency because we leak nutrients out through the bowels, through the urine. We're not absorbing our nutrition. And sadly, these are microscopic holes that are in the intestinal wall that not only leak nutrition, but they leak inflammatory markers. So we start to become highly inflamed, highly reactive. And again, talking about the web, leaky gut has been connected to sleep disturbances. Leaky gut's been connected to depression. Leaky gut's been connected to adrenal issues. Leaky gut's been connected to thyroid problems. So what you're going to see here is that this is a major root cause, which is, again, why we have an entire chapter dedicated to leaky gut and its connection to your energy and the fatigue that you might have. You can download the ebook, which is Energy Heal Thyself, right now by texting your name and your email with the word energy to 704-906-2094. Look, we love giving away gifts. Okay, This ebook is the gift of all gifts. It's going to give you all the knowledge, the education, and even action steps to start repairing yourself. Plus, it comes with the bonus of the masterclass. This is our live event where we'll take you through step by step for you specifically. How do you identify the underlying root cause? How do we solve your energy issues and get you healing better, not only so you can feel better, but you can repair?
Right.
So imagine thyroid fixing, adrenal fixing, depression breaking, weight loss happening, energy coming back, all possible when you become your own doctor.
Exactly. One of the things that's interesting about leaky gut specifically is so many of you guys are taking a prescription medication or you're on antibiotics for long periods of time. That's not only, we all know, when you take too many of those, it's going to be bad for your liver. Guess what? It's not just the liver that's going to become a problem. It's your gut as well. You're slowly breaking down the gut barrier. And the same thing that it goes for eating specific foods that are like high in gluten.
Yeah.
Even though we think that whole wheat is healthy, it's not, because there's specific proteins called lectins within the gluten that are going to slowly break down the barrier wall of the intestines and cause that gut leak to occur. And then here in America, and you can go now, I'm not going to age myself or age anybody, but I do watch videos with a specific, I would say the younger crowd still, and I see a lot of videos where they talk about, I went over to Europe and I had gluten, but I had no gluten sensitivity. Where here in America, I have a gluten sensitivity no matter what. Anything that I do, anything that I try to do to prevent the gluten sensitivity, it's still here in America, where we don't have it over in Europe. Why is that? Because so many foods processed here are genetically modified, where a lot of that has, they've done a really good job over in Europe of limiting that.
And we also spray very heavily with a sort of very toxic, pesticide, herbicide that has been banned in almost every other country.
Right.
This chemical called, glyphosate or Roundup is very heavily linked to a leaky gut.
So between the high doses of pesticides that we use and the fact that so many foods are genetically modified here in the States, it's no surprise that we have such a tough time with managing not just leaky gut, but the overall inflammation state of our body.
So how about this one, all right? So maybe we have been just simply neglecting drinking the right amounts of water. I know it's going to sound strange, but water, I want you to think of it as the greatest energy drink on the planet, okay?
Literally.
It's not the Red Bulls and the Monster drinks and the rock stars and all this other stuff. It's not even your coffee. Water is the greatest energy booster that you can ever have. Why? Because dehydration, the number one side effect of that is fatigue. And sadly today, most of us are drinking liquids thinking that I'm getting fluid from this, be it fruit juices, vegetable juices, even like, coffee, tea,
sodas,
alcohol, sodas, etc.
Yep.
But that's not water. By definition, water is water. And the other challenge with a lot of water today, because so many people will tell us, I drink a ton of water, how can I be dehydrated? Is the water that we have is basically dead. It's been stripped of its electrolytes and its core nutrients that we need. Some of the most buffering ones you have to have are sodium, potassium, chloride, and even bicarbonate. And in industrialized water or tap water, a lot of that stuff has been stripped and removed.
Exactly. Yep. It's almost going back to sleep, where we talked about, yes, there's quantity part, but there's more of a quality portion to sleep as well. The same thing with with dehydration. It's not just the quantity of water that you get, which you should have about half of your weight in pounds in ounces of water. So
at the minimum
every day. So I'm 160 pounds. I need a minimum of 80 ounces of water. Then if you're following the correct guidelines for movement and exercise, for every 30 minutes of movement and exercise activity that you do every day, you need another 8 ounces in addition to that.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about it's more of a quality about the water. Like you were saying, most water is dead. It is not structured. You want to make sure you're drinking structured water, and tap water coming through your faucet is not structured. Bottled water is definitely not structured. Did you guys know that on average, if you're drinking high doses of water that comes from plastic bottles, that water was bottled 1 to 3 years in the past from the date that you drink that water? That's ridiculous. So that water has been sitting in that plastic for 1 to 3 years before you drink it. So not only is the water dead, it doesn't have the electrolytes, it doesn't have the right structure to it, but now it's been sitting in this plastic where now it has an opportunity to exchange molecules, exchange ions with these plastic constituents, and you may be drinking these plastic-like
and if you're listening going, structured water, I've never heard of this, head on over to AskDrErnst.com, type in structured water, and you could see all the research and the articles behind why you have to revitalize your water.
Exactly.
But remember too, like a lot of fruits and vegetables will have natural waters in them, right? So coconut water is basically God's gift to naturally electrolytically built water. right?
Yes.
So it is slightly high in carbohydrates, so you have to be careful with that. But celery, celery juice, cucumber, bell peppers, carrots, a lot of the vegetables that you can see in juice bars and places where you're getting like a carrot, apple, celery, ginger, etc. These are highly hydrating nutrients that have the electrolytes and have the minerals. So I would say make sure you're buffering your water with at least an electrolytic add-on.
Right.
We have one called Electrobalance that we use where you physically drip the sodium, the potassium, the bicarbonate, and the salts into your water. Or just, start drinking more fresh vegetable juices.
Exactly.
We have 56 seconds to do 3 more of them. So let's just throw them out so we can hit our 11. Emotional stress, guys, it's a big deal. If you're stressed out, your energy tends to drop. This is where we have to work on relaxation techniques, etc. You've already talked about the blood sugar imbalance. Those constant spikes up, down, up, down, up, down from your diet can lead to chronic energy fatigue.
Exactly.
And I think exactly. Hopefully you guys understand. The foods you eat can give you energy or they can rob you from your energy. And if you'd like a quick, dirty, easy dozen list of how to boost your energy quickly, our energy healing foods are in the ebook. Text the word energy, your name and email to 704-906-2094.
Yeah, it's not just the energy that you have during the day that you're losing. It's the energy at night while you sleep. And then that's just this big snowballing cycle of it just continues and continues and continues. Only you can break it. Will you take the steps to do that?
Thanks for tuning in today. It's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. We look forward to seeing you guys each and every week. Again, download the ebook right now, 704-906-2094. Energy, your name, and your email. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.